right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Watch This First video for the week of January 11th. If you haven't already done so, on our homepage, I put an example module that goes through each one of these subcategories. So if you're feeling like you need more information, please go ahead and watch that. I'm going to highlight some of the big changes here. One of the big changes that you're going to see is that our new module will now be posted on Tuesdays. So starting next week, our new module will come out on Tuesday every week, and it will be a week's worth of material. That's a change from last semester. That's one of the things that from student and parent and other teacher feedback that we thought was a good change, so that we are very consistent with when the new material is coming out and when it is due. I know that a lot of teachers are going Monday to Monday, so I decided to go Tuesday to Tuesday just because I thought it might give you a little bit of a break and break up having everything due on a Monday. Now, what will normally happen is after you watch this first video is that you will then take your summative assessment. Notice that obviously there's no summative assessment this week. That's because we didn't have any content last week. So there will be no summative assessment in your module this week. But normally what will happen is that this is going to be your test over the previous week's material. And so one of the suggestions that were made was for us to kind of chunk the summative assessments, your tests, basically into smaller, more manageable amounts. So what you will have is that when you start your new module, it will be a test over the last week's concepts. So notice that it will need to be completed on Tuesday. This is the only thing that has to be done on a certain day for this class. So as you're planning your schedule and getting an outline of what needs due when, this is the only thing you need to be able to reserve time for. It is based on the previous work from the previous week. Just like a test, it is a one attempt thing, and if it's in Canvas, it is going to be timed, so that we, as we're going through the week, we want to make sure that we are practicing and preparing ourselves to be able to take this summative assessment, and I'll talk more about it as we go through our module here. So that's our next big change. It's not on this particular slide, but I did want to mention that all of our other formative assessments that are assigned on the new module on Tuesday will not be due until the following Tuesday. So it is really only this summative assessment that has a day designated that you have to do it. So it would open up in the morning at 8:45 a.m. and it would close at the end of the day, school day, 3:45 p.m. All right, so you watched the Watch This First video, you completed your summative assessment, and now what comes next in our module? Let's take a look at it. It's our video and our notes. So this would be the teacher-led instruction part of the class. And so notice that it says that you need your geometry notebook. For this week, you're going to be doing notes for section 7.1 and 7.2, and just so that you know how much time to set aside for those sections, there are 3 videos, and these are the times of each one of those videos. And then this is section 7.3 and 7.4, and this is the time for those. These will actually be in what we have referred to as the foldable for the chapter. So if you're looking through your geometry notebook, you'll see when it starts into chapter 7, there are 2 pages that are not numbered, and then you start into chapter 7, that's the pages are enumerated. It's because I just took the foldable and put it into the notebook so that you didn't have to pick up multiple items from the bookstore. And so that's our notes in our video. You'll see that sometimes that'll be me, sometimes it'll be Miss Bash, just like last semester. So it will kind of flip back and forth. One thing we want to make sure is that we are actually taking those notes and practicing and not just watching. Some of us, I think, fell into that trap last semester where we would just listen to them and watch them and think, oh, that was easy, and not really give ourselves the opportunity to try those until we were going to the test, and then we had a little bit of struggle. So let's make sure that we're proactive in getting off on the right foot with those. Now, after you watch those videos and notes, and you may want to watch the video and notes for 7.1 and 7.2, and then come to the formative assessments, and then go back and watch the notes for 7.3 and 7.4, and then come to the assessments, formative assessments for 7.3 and 7.4. That would make more sense to me. That's how I would learn best. But just for organizing in categories, I've put all the notes together and all the formative assessments together, but feel free to bounce back and forth there. This is where we practice, where we check our work, where the learning really comes in to play here. So notice that there is a formative assessment for each section, and then we have one for the combined section of 7.1 and 7.2 in here. And notice that they are all due on January 19th, which will be the following Tuesday, and that if you click on them and look further at your calendar, that the time for that is 9 a.m. So trying to keep everything nice and consistent with that. Now let's take a look at what one of those formative assessments may look like. So these are basically your homework, your classwork, your partner work, how it would be in a normal traditional classroom setting. So this is your formative assessment for section 7.1. Notice that it says when I complete these pages, you have your book. This is also in your notebook, but I'm going to be honest with you that the notebook page is kind of a little bit blurry. When we go to make the copy, it kind of blurs it a little bit. I also link in that page right there. Don't feel that you need to print that out unless you want to. You can definitely use a blank sheet of paper and notebook paper and do your work on that, or you can use, like I said in the book, it's there also. I just want to provide you with a clear copy of it as well. Okay, make sure that you're showing all your work, that you're writing neat, legibly, and then we need to upload one PDF. Now, some of us last semester were not doing one PDF. And let me explain to you why this is a big deal. And I think that some of you think it's not that, I'll just take a picture and put it in there. Well, if we all do that and we all put in 3, 4, 5, 6 different pictures of something, then every time I go to check that, I have to stop and upload each one of those individually. That has a great amount of time on being able to on checking homework. So just by using either Genius Scan or the Notes app, if you have an iPhone, it is super easy. Genius Scan is a free app. If you need help on knowing how to do this, please let me know. I'm happy to Zoom with you and to show you how to do that. But I do just want one PDF. Notice that then it says check your answers. So this is going to be right here where it says check your answers. That is just going to be a hard copy of the answers. You may want to start there, and if you've got all but one problem correct, maybe go back and take a look. But notice that if I said if you need further explanation, watch the video explanation. So this video right here are the detailed answers to everything on page 464 that you were to do. This process is really where your learning takes place. You need to try this on your own first. See what you know and what you don't know. Check your answers and see what were you successful with, what do you need help with. And then if you can't figure out those ones you need help with, then watch that video explanation. If you still are not sure as to why we're getting that answer, how we got there, you see it but you're getting confused, then that's when you need to bring that question to a Zoom session. Okay? So I need you to go through this process with each one of your formative assessments. Once again, I caution you of just watching the video and writing down what I'm doing. Yes, that's going to give you your points for this assignment, but then you're going to risk the chance of not being able to complete the summative assessment in the allotted time. Okay? Please also know that if you bring a question to Zoom session, I'm going to ask you, did you check your answer? Did you watch the video? So please make sure that you go through the entire process of completing each one of these steps for each one of the formative assessments. Okay? So now let's talk about, well, when are those Zoom sessions? I'm going to try to keep them more consistent. Just one of the things that we learned going through last semester. So our Zoom sessions are going to be scheduled for 2 p.m. on Wednesday, Thursday, and Monday. Okay. Now, obviously, we're not having one today because you're just getting this material. And if you look at the schedules, we have one on Wednesday and we have one on Thursday. We do not have one on Monday the 18th because we don't have school that day. Okay, so this week you will need to be a little bit proactive, and if you do have questions on the formative assessments for sections 7.1 through 7.4, you need to get to a Zoom session either on Wednesday or Thursday. Just like last semester, these Zoom sessions are optional unless I see that our grade is starting to slip or whatever the case may be. I may reach out to you and say, okay, now Zoom sessions are no longer optional. You need to start coming to those. And they're going to be the same type of question and answer format in that I'm not going to be teaching any new content at these Zoom sessions. It is merely for people that have gone through that formative assessment process. They've tried their work. They've looked at the answer key, they've watched the answer video, and we're still not getting that. We need to show up and be at the Zoom session. Keep in mind that since these are optional, what I actually do is stay pretty close to the timing in that it starts at 2, and I go until we are done with questions. Last semester we had some that were 10 minutes long, and we had some that were almost 2 hours long. So we go as long as we need to till we get our questions answered, and they're flexible in the sense that you leave when you need to leave. If you've got your question answered, then you go ahead and you can just leave the Zoom session. I will though wait until if I start a session at 2 and no one is attending, I'm only going to wait online until 2:10. Because if it was at 2, I give you that kind of 10-minute lead wave, no one's on there at 2:10, then I'm going to end the session. Okay, so just to let you know that if you try to join at 2:30 because of whatever and I'm not there, that's because our session started at 2 and no one showed up. And so you can either Canvas message me and let me know what you need, or wait to talk to me at the next Zoom session. Okay, that is it for the module for this week. If there's anything that I need to answer, please go ahead and Canvas message me. And if you need questions regarding content or anything like that, get them ready to go. And I'll see you on Zoom 2 p.m. Wednesday, January 13th.